Good afternoon. Welcome to the tea table. I am so happy you've joined me today. And it's a gorgeous August Thursday. Actually, it's Friday, the 8th of August. And it is just the height of summer glory in beautiful Western Washington. If you look behind me, the tide has gone out and it will be coming back in. We're sitting right at the tip of Puget Sound. We either are the beginning of Puget Sound or the end. It's called Elbe Inlet. And if you take a boat down past me that way to the very end, where the mud flats are, there's a sign, Captain Puget. And this is where he came. Yes, he was sent out by Captain Vancouver to explore the Puget Sound, and that's why it's named after him. Well, if you haven't gotten your tea, please pause and get your tea, and I'll be waiting for you. I first must show you the most beautiful roses my husband brought me. One of them just broke off, but they are this smells so perfect. They are the Queen Elizabeth roses. I had two very dear friends, Janie and Nancy, when I had my last child, Elizabeth, my daughter. They each gave me a pink Queen Elizabeth rose bush. And since that time, we have lived several places, but I put them in pots and took them with me. Now they're in the ground again. I've had them in different places. Originally, my husband built a beautiful rose arbor for me that they climbed over. And then we took them, and then they were rescued once miraculously by a flood. Terrible flood in downtown Shelton. We were living in an old historic home. And our darling neighbor, Chris, he came running over and grabbed all my pots and flowers and put them up on the porch, and they were rescued. So these roses have come through a lot. And I have learned through the years that roses are very hardy flowers. They are fragile and beautiful, but they are hardy. I'm sorry, this one is leaning over. The vase I have it in is a beautiful little green glass vase. And then this one fell off, but I wanted to show them to you. The color is just so spectacular. We'll let them stand there for the tea table. You know, often it's called a tea rose, and that's because it's the most beautiful thing you can have on a table are roses, of course. Wow, I'm sorry, they're falling. Well, I will show you what I have for you today for my tea tray. And I thought we need as much color as we can possibly get. So I have had this on before. It's a very old Czechoslovakian, probably simple, probably in the cottage. It would be one of the most special pieces they had. And it is a creamer sugar and a teapot. Well, I don't have cups, and so I thought blue is the best. So I had these wonderful Dutch blue cups, blue and white, and I'll show you if I can pull this off, I'm gonna show you the tray I'm using. I love this tray. If I can just show you this much of it. It has lemons on it, see? And blue and white trim. Isn't that beautiful? So let's pour out. It's really dark. I made it really strong today. I need a good brisk cup of tea this morning. And let's see how it tastes. Wonderful. A good cup of tea will heal just about anything. I'm wearing bright colors. I want to be as bright as I can. It's summer. We only have another month, and this is the thing about summer. Summer clothes never change. I have summer clothes that I've literally had for years. The fashion of summer never changes. And so we only have a few months to wear these bright colors. So I wanted to wear these puka beads, and on them, if you can see, there are painted fishes. This is probably from Hawaii. And then I have combined it with an abalone shell. So I've got all of nature on. And then this necklace underneath, I got 3 necklaces on. Oh well. This is a very famous design from Arizona, turquoise. And this big turquoise necklace, I say big because it's very heavy and it's so beautiful. And it's kind of a classic design you will see turquoise in. I was at a graduation at my seminary a few years ago, and this lady was in the audience, and her name is Judy. She's an older lady that has had a tremendous ministry around the world. I call her Global Judy. She and her husband literally have traveled to every country. Well, she came up to me and she said, I want to give you this necklace. She said, I never wear it. It's too big for me, but it's made for you. So that was a gift, and I love this necklace. And she said she bought it down in Arizona when they were working with some of the Indian tribes there. So I know that when we went to the Grand Canyon, there's a big, I think it's the Hopi tribe there that have quite a lot to do with that. And it's fascinating that all of these tribes have kept their identity. And I think that's beautiful. Just like the Scottish tribes, all the clans. You can't meet a Scotsman who doesn't know his clan name. It's quite fascinating. They still have clan chieftains. They still have Indian chieftains. So we think our world is so modern and we've lost everything of individuality, but really there's more out there than we realize. Yes. Well, I have to tell you something really special. My son brought me these apricots. I said, oh, please bring me apricots from Eastern Washington. And this is all I have left. They're in a beautiful bowl here. And I'm planning to make an Austrian apricot cake. I found the recipe online, and I kind of fell in love with apricots when my daughter and I were in Austria. They must grow there like wild because they had so many desserts and jams and jellies and purees. So delicious. Well, we have them in Eastern Washington. So my son went to Yakima and brought these back. Well, I had enough in the box. I think it was like a 10-pound box. Guess what I made? I'm going to show you, and I had to pull it out of my freezer, so it's kind of got the freezer on it, but apricot jam preserves. And I'm kind of wiping it off here. Then I made 2 batches of that. Then I made apricot puree, which is the most fabulous thing. You can use apricot puree literally for everything. You can put it over cake. You can put it over pancakes. You can mix it with various vinegar and steak sauce and make it into a meat marinade. Put it in a beef marinade with meatballs. Absolutely supreme, delicious. So this has been a year of canning for me. I now have a freezer full of strawberry jam, marionberry jam, raspberry jam, and now apricot jam. I am so grateful that he brought these to me because apricots are just 3 hours over the mountains. You can get really nice ones. Eastern Washington is truly, I say Western Washington is the Garden of Eden in the beauty of the green, the water, the flowers, the mountains, the jeweled waterfalls and creeks and lakes and rivers. There's so much water over here. Puget Sound, the Pacific Ocean. But when you climb the North Cascades, which is Mount Rainier, Mount Adams, Mount Baker, Mount St. Helens, that's the Cascade Range that divides our state. Right on the other side is sunshine, the Columbia River, and cherries and apples, apricots and peaches. That is, I call that Canaan land. And this is Garden of Eden. I just really love where I live. I'm so grateful to God. I know we've been raised constantly with we could have an earthquake anytime, we could have a tsunami, we could have a volcano on Mount Rainier, but I still just love it here, and nothing so far has happened, thank God, but I pray it won't. But the beauty we have, we pay for with the rain. We have a lot of rain, but I love the rain too. I love cozy rain. You know that from the tea table. And I wish that this one rose would, I think I'm going to go like that. There. Now I've got them the same size. Now that, whoops, if I can keep them in the, they are just so beautiful. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, I have a dear friend that just texted me, and she went up to Paulsbo, Indianola to stay with family and relatives, and then they went over to Point No Point, where there's the beautiful, beautiful lighthouse. And we do have lighthouses also down in Long Beach. Of course, these are not used. They're like museums, but I love lighthouses. I want to go visit a lighthouse this summer. Well, I have one other show and tell. I found this, and this is so wonderful. This is smoked mild paprika from Italy. And this is smoked paprika, also from Italy. And I am so grateful to find these little cans imported when my daughter and I were in Europe last time. And we were at the violin camp in Lower Austria, and then we went to Prague, Czechoslovakia. We spent most of the time in Vienna, and then went to Budapest, Hungary. Well, in that part of the world, in North America, we have all of our wonderful Spanish, Mexican spice and hot sauce and salsa and fabulous. That's our spice. Well, there they have paprika. And when I was in Budapest, I bought a package that was 3 kinds: mild, sweet, and hot. And over the years, that was over, I don't know, 15 years ago I was there, I have used it all. And I used a lot of it on beef roast, which you kind of turn into when you put with it, of course, you have carrot and potato. And then if you put turnips and rutabagas, and there's another thing they put, and that is really Hungarian goulash. And that's, you can kind of make your own Hungarian goulash just in a roast pan. That's what I did, and everybody in the family loved that paprika. Well, I found this paprika. One of them I found at Home Goods, and the other one I found at Ross, of all places. And they're imported from Italy, the real thing. So keep your eye out, because a little bit of smoked, I think they have it at Trader Joe's. Smoked paprika, nice. And if you want it hotter, you can add more, spice. And if you want it sweeter, the sweet paprika is really nice, really nice. Well, I couldn't come on my tea table today without a purse. And this, I've had this on here before. This is one of my fun summer purses that I pull out of for summertime. And it is so fun. It has literally every color. It has a chain so you can wear it over your neck, or you can just carry it. And it opens like this. And I have noticed, now see, it almost totally matches my scarf, unplanned. When you have a touch of yellow, a touch of turquoise, and a touch of pink, that's what I put in my hair. You have very, very summer, happy, happy colors. Yes. Well, I have been thinking all week about beauty and how critical beauty is. You know, at the turn of the century, the philosophy had come down to the good, the true, and the beautiful. That philosophy really goes back to the Bible, because true truth is beautiful. And true truth is good. They are like a trinity of revelation: the good, the true, and the beautiful. And I thought, why do we love beautiful things? I mean, I get a lot of feedback when I wear pink on, it's really interesting, on this Tea Talk, and bright yellow, but pink the most. Pink is a color that is just so vibrant, and it just makes people happy. Why does it do that? Because that is the way God made us. He made us to respond to beauty. Why do we love to go to thrift shops? Why do we like antiques? Why do we like vintage? This is a kickback on a vintage, probably a 1950s purse. And because we like all of that, because of the beauty reflected in the design, in the architecture. Why do we go to a cathedral in Europe and then we see the stages? You'll have the Norman stage, and you'll have the Italian Baroque romantic stages. You'll have then each level, each generation is adding more beauty, not less. When I went to the beautiful home in Chatsworth House in England, and that's the house that Jane Austen imagined when she wrote Pride and Prejudice, and Mr. Darcy's home, Pemberley, she was imagining Chatsworth House. Chatsworth House, to get there, you drive through Derbyshire, through the peaks. And we were taken, my daughter and I, by some dear friends of mine. It was one of the most special days I will ever remember of all my travels. That has to be the most stunning home, and it still is a historic home. And each generation adds something to the house. Each generation, they don't take away their beautiful furnishings and throw them to the dump like a lot of Americans do. The next generation takes everything good and adds to it. It's not a throwaway world. The library at Chatsworth House was absolutely, had to be one of the highlights of my whole trip. They have books that have gold and are hand copied on the finest vellum. They have a collection that they keep building, and it goes floor to ceiling. You have to have a ladder to get to the top. And then all of the different statuary. And I remember the piano. I played the grand piano there. I played my song Jewels. Beautiful piano. Then they had a bed I will never forget, and I believe that bed is actually in Pride and Prejudice. I believe it is the bed that is in when Mr. Darcy is visiting Elizabeth and she's turning him down, and he goes back to his aunt's house and writes that letter. And in that room is this green, beautiful four-poster bed, and it has the French green encircling the top of the mahogany poles. It's just spectacular. I think that is the bed that I saw in Chatsworth House. You know, and I took a whole day to go through it. And then the grounds, and they have the first, what had been imagined as a glass house, which of course is what is used, well, Prince Albert built in 1840s or 1850s the Crystal Palace, famous in London. And it was there for many, many years. It was the first World Fair exhibition that had really ever happened. And it was in England, and he envisioned all the countries came with all their inventions and their beautiful like silk and linens and lace work and beautiful things. I know in a book I read, Marie Ivanov, about Russia, that Russians had brought their beautiful lace work, and Queen Victoria had bought some of it. And so that was the big English exhibition. But at Chatsworth House, they have a little garden greenhouse that they said is the first glass house that was ever made. And then after that was modeled this spectacular Crystal Palace, where actually later it was used for many gatherings, meetings. I think Spurgeon, the famous preacher from London, would have meetings there with thousands. It would hold thousands of people. Amazing. Again, that's beauty. Why do we love it? It makes us feel happy. Now, think about this. Is anybody going on a tour to go, if you go to Russia, I haven't been to Russia. I would love to go and see St. Petersburg and I have a friend who's seen all of the palaces of St. Catherine's Palace and the beautiful churches and beautiful art that remains in Russia, that was preserved, believe it or not, through all these revolutions and all this upheaval that for the last 100 years. But so if you go to Russia, that's what you want to see, right? You're not going to want to go see modern apartments that were built during Stalin's time to house people, like house hundreds of families in a cement apartment with a plain window and no decor. No one is going to want to go see that, but they all want to go see where the Tsar, the Tsarina, the jewels, the gold, the carving, the furniture, the clothing. There was one Tsarina that I think had 1,500 dresses on display. And I don't know how all of those were preserved, but somebody during the revolution hid them. They had enough foresight to see we can't let all of our beauty be destroyed. So there we have it. So my conclusion is this. This is why we love architecture that is, as what I talked about, the Lake Quinault Lodge, 1927, the Lake Crescent Lodge, 1914, the Capitol in Olympia, 1929, and anything before the Great Depression has unusual beauty and unusual design. And we can see modern man in the way he thinks, with the way he creates a house, the way he creates art, the way he creates music. And when people go to Florence, what are they going to go to see? They're going to go see Leonardo da Vinci and all of the beautiful art of the Renaissance. Then they're going to go to Rome. What are they going to see? The Sistine Chapel. Because why? It's beautiful. It reflects God and light and truth and beauty. My conclusion today is, why don't we, in every way we can, create beauty in our lives and the lives of others? Whether you bake a cake and take time to frost it and make it so special for someone, or you maybe bring a beautiful bouquet of flowers, roses, maybe one rose, and you show them and bring them to someone. Maybe there's someone that needs help, so you go help them make part of their life more beautiful. It doesn't matter if it's cleaning a patio, if it's sweeping a floor, helping someone clean out their refrigerator and get order. Order and beauty and truth and good all go together. They're all part of God. And wear bright colors in the summer as much as you can. I think some people are afraid. They get in a habit of a certain tone. We all get in habits and we don't even know it. And we need to break out of those habits sometimes and just say, hey, I want to bring color. I'm going to bring some color out. Why not? Color is God's idea. Yes, He paints a picture for us every day, every sunrise, every sunset, even on a stormy day, but particularly on a sunny day. But all of nature has form and beauty and meaning. Sadly, after World War I, man really went in despair. And that's when you have modern art and modern broken, even symphonic music, which, why do people want to listen to Johann Sebastian Bach, Mozart, Beethoven? Because it makes sense. It has harmony, it has truth, it has love. It makes you strong. It's hard to listen to a lot of modern music. It's broken. And we can pick up the pieces and bring beauty, play beautiful music in your home. Put beautiful art in your home. Even a small china cup at your table in the center with a few flowers will bring some beauty. Doesn't have to be a lot. Doesn't have to be extreme. I'm looking at this shawl. I've never worn this shawl. I've had it. It reminds me of a pastel version of Joseph's coat of many colors. And I love it. And it makes me feel happy. God wants us to have good color and good life and good beauty in every area, and especially our hearts. Start with our hearts. Keep short accounts. Keep every relationship as smooth, as loving, as kind as you can, because that really brings the beauty of spirit to the home, to the heart, to the life. And then we